Jim Carroll, Ralph Baber, psychology takeaway. Need a dose of the real, life's absurd, we know the deal. Did you hear? Don't let it get you down. Turn that frown upside down, down, upside.
Well, hi, Ralph.
Hi, Jim. How are you today?
I'm good. Well, last 4 weeks, we've been looking at sleep. And
Right.
last week, we talked about creativity. The week before, we talked about problem solving. And we're going to continue with problem solving, right?
In a kind of a different way.
We're going to be awake.
Yes.
Okay.
And the thing about problem solving is, and let me give you an example to start off with. I've had people who were friends of mine or even relatives of mine, strangely enough.
Strange relatives?
Yeah, strange
Okay.
relatives
I
come to
understand.
me and say, Ralph, I'm having a problem in my life with something, whatever it was,
Relationships, marriage, friendships, money,
money,
that kind of thing.
all kinds of different things. And they've said to me, you know, I just need to talk.
Okay.
And I've said, okay, I'm glad to listen to you. And so they've talked, and then at the end of it, they usually end with something like, what should I do?
Okay. So,
Or some request for, can you help me out? And none of my relatives, fortunately, because I have no money, have begged me for money to help them out. But,
okay.
they've wanted me to provide something in the way of a solution.
Yeah, I think that might be typical, that a person might say, you know, "Oh, what do you advise? Help me with this. What do you think?" And so what do? We give them
A solution.
a solution to their dilemma. And
And
what do
what-
they do?
They say, thank you very much, and the horse you rode in on, and then they go away and ignore our good suggestion
They just go back and do the same thing again and again, right?
again and again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that, people naturally resist change. It's just one of the things that is part of being human.
Uh-huh.
And the other thing is
Well, hey, well. Is change part of being human, or is the resistance part
the
of being
resistance is
Okay.
part of it. So
Right.
change is part of the world,
human? Uh-huh.
but we all prefer the old ruts that we're used to rolling in.
Okay, like a long time ago, people did not like the invention of the automobile.
Yeah,
It scared the horses. That was one thing, but they just didn't trust it, right?
right.
Okay.
And so one of the things that the automotive companies did is they sponsored people driving on the 2-lane wagon tracks from New York to California. And they said, see, if we can do this, it's perfectly safe. Now, they
Uh-huh.
didn't say, and of course, we had to rebuild the car halfway through, but,
Yeah.
but the thing is, people
The
tend to say, "Oh, it's terrible," and think of your encounters with information about AI. A lot of people today are really terrified of AI.
Mm-hmm.
Artificial intelligence? Oh no, we can't have that.
Right. Well, a lot of us have difficulty with the word intelligence, let alone artificial.
Yeah,
So when I think about advertising, advertising pretty much is helping people to adjust to something new, like the new Tide or the new
Yeah.
thing that Starbucks is coming out with, or the new something.
the new something, whatever it is. Yeah, and for example, Jim asked me a question today when we were coming over here. He and his wife bought a new car. New car, a new Subaru, not brand new, 2026, but pretty new. It comes up to a stop sign and it shuts itself off. And then you press the accelerator and it goes again. Hey, good, bad, indifferent. He said, is this a good thing? And I said, Jim, I really don't know. I know why it's there. It's there to reach fuel economy standards, but I don't know overall if it's, 10 years from now, is your car going to be working as well?
Mm-hmm.
And so the thing is, we say, well, there's unintended consequences, and there's things that we say, oh, this will work well, and it does for a while. And then does it keep working well or doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So, there's a natural element of caution and fear.
Okay.
And that's why people kind of resist change.
Right. So that, to get back to our original point, you give your advice to people and they nod their head and,
And
off
then they
go.
say, well, yeah, if I did that, I'd have to change.
Mm-hmm. I have to do something different.
Yeah.
Well, we have a couple of different kinds of people in the world too, Ralph. Some people want to talk about the dragon, and others want to kill the dragon, do something about the dragon.
Yeah.
You're going to have a lot of people who just want to talk about the dragon, and that's okay.
That's okay. Yeah.
Except, are you the person that has to listen to it all the time?
And why is it that people will come to you and they'll say, remember a couple of months ago we talked about this dragon, whatever it is, this problem that I'm having,
Yep.
and I've got to talk again.
Yeah.
You know-
Well, what have you done with the dragon between 2 months ago and now?
I haven't done anything.
So why do we want to talk about it?
Well, because it's still there.
Uh-huh. And
So
yeah,
the thing is,
it's natural. The dragon's going to stay around because it's got a nice place to live, right?
right.
Between
and
your ears.
it lives in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is, if you're inside your head and you never do anything about a problem, the problem's always there. And so the thing is, you can come to me 1 month, and then 2 months later you go to Jim, and 2 months after that you go to somebody else, and they all give you maybe similar or maybe different solutions to killing the dragon, and you ignore them all.
Yeah.
So the thing is, as long as you seek advice and don't follow it,
Nothing will change.
nothing will change.
Yeah, good point. We even see that with professionals as therapists, that people come in and want to ventilate, but the change, unless you have a contract with them to say, okay, this is what we're going to do, we're going to work on change, they're comfortable with their discomfort.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's okay if somebody comes to you and says, look, give me half an hour. I just need to vent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm angry. I'm afraid. I'm feeling whatever. I just got to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have any real serious problems. They're not in a position where they have to say, something's got to change in my life.
Okay.
They just want to vent.
Okay. Now, if you have a half an hour, that would be good. You can sit down with them. If it's an hour, well, it might be, cutting into your time. If it's an hour every week, can you afford that?
Yeah.
If it's an hour every 2
And
hours
if you
every
can afford it, you then become an enabler.
Uh-huh.
So they know they can always come to you
And vent.
and vent.
Okay. Now, we're going to talk, if you see the show notes up there, we're going to talk about Sarah and her problem. But I don't know if we're going to get to her today because we don't have that much time, left in our podcast. But, I want to see if I can push this thing. Is it here? Here? Yeah. Hey, share this, subscribe, let us have some comments. We were getting some interesting feedback here, Ralph, particularly on Podbean. We're getting a couple hundred people a day downloading the podcast.
Uh-huh.
And we're not sure, who they are or where they come from, but hey, thank you, folks.
Thank you, folks, and
let us know who you are and let us know
yeah,
what you want us to talk about.
and comment, because our goal is to help you in the struggle to help the rest of us.
Yes.
So I'm trying to help Jim help his grandchildren. That's just a hypothetical example,
Right.
but so help your friends to cope with their lives.
Mm-hmm. One way of doing it, Ralph, with the friend that you talked to or with, might be that there's this thing called Solomon's paradox. Remember
Okay.
Solomon in the
I
Bible?
remember Solomon in the Bible.
Smartest man in the world, right?
Right,
Could solve everybody's problem,
right,
Okay, slicing babies in half, the whole thing, right?
right.
Okay. Could he solve his own problems?
No.
No, he couldn't. He was a mess. And
And
his family was a mess. You talk about the dysfunctional family. It's not something from 2026. It goes back thousands of years. So Solomon is this wise guy who can't solve his own problems.
yes,
Okay.
but he can solve other people's
Yeah.
problems. And that's what's known as Solomon's paradox. We can always do better at helping other people with their problems than we can looking at ourselves and being objective.
Yeah. So with your friend who's calling you up and saying, I have a problem, a way to handle him or her might be to help them put some psychological distance between themselves and the problem and say, now, if I had this problem, or if John over here had this problem, what would you say to Jim, or what would you say to John? I'd say, you need to have a better communication with, you need to budget more, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So they would have the solution to the problem, as long as it's somebody else's problem, right?
Right.
And then,
So the person says, I get to the 25th of the month and I have no money, and my paycheck doesn't come in until the first of the month. That happens every month. And you say,
well, if that happens, okay, that happens to John over here all the time too. What would you say to him? Budget your money, save your money, don't spend as much money early on.
yeah,
Then you turn that and say, well, that's the advice you're giving to John. Would that fit you? And at that point, the person might say, it might.
it might. And the other thing you could even be more specific about is to say, okay, when your paycheck comes in at the first of the month, take 25% of it and say, I have that much money to spend this week.
Okay.
And then say at the end of 5 days, you're out of money. Guess what? You don't dip into the other 75% the way you always have. You say, I guess I have to suck it up and not have Starbucks coffee today.
I do it a little bit differently.
Okay.
I wouldn't give that as a solution. I would say to the person, what do you think the solution should be? I would let the other person come up with the idea of, well, I've got to put this much money away and I've got to, suck it up, etc. But I find that when I solve somebody else's problem, the problem doesn't go away. It's
Okay.
that the individual has to solve the problem himself or herself.
Yeah. And that goes back to Carl Rogers, the idea that we all know the solution to our difficulties. We just can't get ourselves to accept them. So locus of control is
Who's in control?
Jim is in control of Jim,
Jim.
and I'm in control of me. So
I-
I have to make the decision that says, hey, maybe making X kind of budget would
Yeah.
be a good thing.
I can't blame the world if gas prices go up and I need to put gas in my car. That's external locus of control. I can't do that. I have to say, well, what can I control? I can only control Jim.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I can't. Obviously, I can't control you, Ralph.
Probably not.
Okay.
Nobody else can.
Okay. Now we're going to get to Sarah next week, but I'll let our listeners know a little bit about Sarah.
Okay.
Okay, she's an executive, right?
Right.
In a what pretty,
Pretty big corporation.
and she's got a lot of power
Right. And she
and
has
responsibility.
responsibility. And she also has a department of, let's say, 15 people.
All upper management type people. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and she's working 70 hours a week, right, to keep
Yeah.
the department running
Right.
smoothly. And if I were to look at it from the outside, I'd say Sarah is about ready to burn out, crash and burn. What would you
Yeah.
say?
I would say the same thing, because here's kind of an expected conduct. A lot of people who start out as corporate lawyers work 70, 80 hours a week, but they know that their goal is to do that for 5 years and then make partner in the firm. And then they can go back to a normal 35-hour week. But if you don't have that potential and you say, I'm working 70 hours a week and I'm going to do that for the rest of my life, not a good place to be.
Okay, so next week we're going to take a look at Sarah and her problems. This week we've come up with a couple of solutions. One, not solutions, but hey, there's only one person who can solve your problem. You. Okay. You can put some psychological distance between you and the problem so you can see the problem more readily.
Now-
Solomon's paradox, right?
Right. Now, here's the thing before Jim puts us on to our music, and that is our goal is to help you to help your friends, relatives, and co-workers.
Yeah, we're not trying to make you a therapist or anything like that, but just help the person who comes up and says to you, hey, can we talk?
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited, Ralph, about this series.
It's going to be good.
I want to know what Sarah's going to do. So until next week, this is Jim
And Ralph,
saying,
keep your stick on the ice, because we're all in this together.